to Blake's point, if we're putting out ads targeting a certain demographic and then they go to your other marketing channels and it's not the same thing, they don't trust you because it's not consistent. It's not predictable. They're like, well, I don't even know what I'm walking into. Is this a 45-year-old gym, or is this like 26-year-old shirts off, we're getting after it kind of gym, right? So it all works together to build that trust and that know like factor. It has to, because also to Blake's point, like the most seasoned consumer is going to go shop or look at multiple things before they commit to something, especially if it's at the price point we're selling at.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. Today, me and Tommy are going to geek out on numbers, targeting. Yeah, so if you're the type of person that loves to just dive in deep on data and numbers and really want to hear a lot about stuff like that, this is for you. Also, this is for the person that, if you're running Facebook ads or in the past have ran Facebook ads and have been like, I'm tired of getting people in the door that think this is like $10 or people saying I can't afford it. Definitely stay tuned to this podcast because we have something special to go over today. So first, Tommy, thanks for hopping on, man. And then, why don't you kick us off where you want to go with this?
Yeah, as always a pleasure jamming with you. So obviously for us, I think I don't want to say it's what's unique about us here at Lasso, but because our entire team are current or former gym owners, like the problems that our clients are experiencing are felt by us, right? Like we're not immune to a lot of the frustrations that our own clients have with marketing and sales and all of that. We all experience it. And so the benefit of that for us is our entire staff and, myself, Blake, everybody, we're constantly looking for solutions to make our own business better because we are also selfish in that regard. But the better part of us is if we find a good solution, we want to bring that to our clients because we know it's incredibly valuable. So one of the things that Blake and I have really been diving into is how do we get better at targeting the types of people that go to our gym, can afford our gym, are ideal fits for the model that we're running. And this conversation started with when I was exploring opening up my second location. I was working with Stu Brower, and Stu had been using similar data to help me find real estate in an ideal market where my ideal client avatar exists. The technology has been around for a while. Things like Buxton, Placer, they've been around for a few different years. What's unique about Spatial that Blake's going to speak to is we can now take this data and it has an integration into Meta where we can now start to segment our audiences with a little bit more precision. And so what was exciting about this is the only levers that we were able to control on our end from a paid marketing standpoint in terms of targeting people really came down to feedback from clients around certain zip codes or radius so that we can be a little bit more precise. Now we can remove all of that, and Blake can get very, very granular on like zip codes don't even really matter anymore. It's all about where these people kind of are existing, migrating, shopping. Like we're just be able to track what's actually going on at the ground level. So with that, we're able to understand who's coming to our gym, what is median household income, what are their buying preferences, where are the places they like to shop, and we can use that not to be big brother, but more of just like, hey, cool, we better understand who's coming to your gym. How can we get smarter around targeting those people when it comes to ads? And so a lot of the times when I'm on my coaching calls, when you get into paid ads, you get a lot of great leads, but you're also going to get a lot of people, unfortunately, that aren't your necessarily ideal client. Even though the copy and digital assets spoke to them, they're not people who can either afford your solution or your gym, or they're just not your like ideal avatar, right? Like they like, this sounds interesting, but it's not like who you ideally serve day in and day out. Now we can remove all that clutter and start to get a little bit more precise. That's where I'm getting really excited with the software.
Yeah, and so let's take one step back because people are like, yeah, that all sounds cool. So how do you do it? So the main thing, if you're an existing gym or you're a new gym, there's two ways, right? Like number one way, we say, hey Tommy, send me all of your client list and past clients. We put it into our software and say we know exactly the four type of groups that come into your gym now. Then we overlay that with a map of like, hey, people come 5 miles or whatever. Now we can just target those people on Facebook, to be clear, not just showing you a map. We can send those audiences to Facebook and say, we're going to target those exact people. I like to say, back, I don't even know how many years ago, maybe like 6-7 years ago, when you could like just click, I want to target people making $100,000 or more. That's basically to make it very simplified, that's basically what the software does. Was we can say, hey, if you're in, if you're like group fitness younger, we can target people making 50 to 150. If you're high-end PT, over 200,000 or $100,000 or more. And so basically, I keep saying basically, but the main thing, and even when I ran ads or a lot of gym owners run ads, they're like, these leads are like, can't afford me. They're talking Planet Fitness. And yeah, some of them do, right? What we're saying is we're going to make you do less work because you are going to get less leads. I want to be transparent. You're not going to get like, if everybody around you is driving a brand new Mercedes in their ultra wealthy area, they are going to take more time to actually click on your stuff. So your cost per lead is going to go up. So the volume of leads is no longer the conversation. It's the quality of lead and then my cost per conversion, right? Like my CAC and my LTV. Let's just say somebody comes in, like you and me, we ran a diagnosis for a gym or a software for the gym, and their number one was the City Hopefuls, making under $30,000 a year. How long do you think they can't stretch that long for a $200 membership? What's going to be the first thing that they're going to cut out when it comes to their life? They're going to be like, I can't afford this anymore, the gym membership, right? So we can say, hey, this is the one that you shouldn't really be going after this. This is probably why you have a high churn. But let's go look at your area. Do you actually have people to market to? And I think that's like, I'll get ahead of myself there. But step two is if you're like, hey, I'm going to open a second location like you are, we can say, hey, Tommy, like this is your current market. Where do you want to do this again, the current model? Or is it different? Like, do you want to be all group classes? Or we probably shouldn't go after like boomers that are 65 and older in Destin, Florida. Maybe we need to go in a urban area, or if we're going to suburbs, it helps us also tell you like these are the kind of offerings you should have in your gym. Because like we talked to somebody who were like, all you offer is group classes, but 30% of your population in your area is ultra wealthy, making $200,000 or more. You have a massive opportunity here. So I think, if you want to talk to that a little bit about just like being on the gym side of it, because I'm not on that side anymore, like taking that emotional, we're not saying that every single person's still going to sign up that comes through the lead funnel. We're not saying we're going to get you 50 leads and 50 are going to sign up. What we're probably saying, we're going to get you 30 leads, right? Maybe one per day, but you're going to have better conversations, more bookings, and more people coming in and signing up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and the way that I can explain it right is what we're trying to do on the marketing side is we're basically removing everything outside of you being able to tell how you solve people's problems effectively within your business and why you are the solution. We're removing any barriers in terms of people, if they're opting in to your solution, we know that they're your ideal client. So now the onus is back on me as the gym owner or our clients to really justify our business's existence. What problems do we solve? How are we able to do it better than anybody else in the marketplace, right? It's kind of like I've asked everything of my marketing department to tee up as best as they could the ideal person that needs to be knocking on my door. Now I can take full ownership or extreme ownership on. If it doesn't close or I don't convert, that's on me, right? What do I need to do better to be able to convert that? Because it's no longer going to be this place of we did this song and dance and oh no, I found out that you can't even afford my solution. These people ideally can afford. These types of people are already coming to your gym. These people have consumer preferences that are in alignment with your gym's brand already in terms of where else other places that they shop. So it really is on you to be able to say, hey, this is why this makes sense. And if you don't sign up, I just need to get better at sales, which is totally fine. We all do, but at least removes the like ambiguity of like, no, this person is ideal. Why didn't I win this business? Right. So, which I
So
love,
really,
puts me in more
yeah,
control.
like we think about, right? Like, and the one thing about us, and we're not just here to just, well, I mean, this, what we are saying, we always said this, but like, we do believe we're better than other marketing companies out there because A, we're all gym owners, but now we can say, hey, we can go back down the funnel a lot more. We know that we're going to get quality leads in. We know that they should be booking because they're quality. Now we can just look at your show to close rate and we can say, hey, do we need to get better? Like everybody can get better at sales. I can get better at sales, right? Like there's ways that I could ask questions better. There's ways that I could pause in my speech and listen more and ask, things to pull out of a gym owner when we talk to them. So now we can just say, hey, we're going to get you people in the door that we know fit your already demographic and can afford you. Like that's number one. They can afford you. Will some people still say, well, I don't really, it's too much? Of course, because we know that's the easy way out. But sitting down, going into every conversation, I'm just thinking back through my head, like having a gym and seeing people pull up and, man, this is bad, but you judge them on the car that they drive up, right? And it's just reality, right? And if somebody drives up and you're just like, man, this is going to be a tough one, right? Now every single person that walks in the gym, you're like, I know they fit this demographic, so I'm going to treat them and sell them just as I would somebody pulling up in like a Lambo, right?
Yeah.
Because I know like every sale matters now. And the other thing, and I talked about this with a client yesterday, we know when you start running paid marketing, like you're not reaching, I want to say this in a way, you're not reaching people that know, like, and trust you, right? So if you don't build that within the first month or two, your churn is going to go up if your services aren't great. And because like I always said, like when people came in, and maybe you're the same way, I'm going to sell them. Like they showed up my door, I'm going to sell them. But a lot of people weren't mentally ready yet, or they were stretching that first month, right? Now you know that like, hey, this client, rather than staying for 3 to 6 months of like a normal lead, this client could be a 2 to 3 to 5 year member, right? So automatically this client, my revenue, instead of like peaks and valleys kind of just slowly, it's still going to go up when you're running paid marketing, but it should be very much steadier growth rather than having those peaks and valleys of like, I just lost 5 this month because of budget and Christmas and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah, and this kind of goes back to like everything that we've been doing up until this point is what Blake and I are saying is it's not to say that like the copy and the ads, the digital assets, the offer don't matter. They 100% do matter, right? So now what we can do is we can target your ideal client and we're developing ad copy that is speaking to the problem that person has and how you could potentially solve them. So if somebody opts in and comes into my gym, number one, I know they can afford it. And number two, the problem that they have is exactly the problem that I can solve for them. So to Blake's point, if they don't buy from me, I need to ask myself, did I ask enough questions? Do I understand how severe of a problem it is in their life right now? Do I need to unpack that a little bit more with them? Again, it just puts the onus of the sales process on me. They said, hey, the copy in the ad spoke to the problem that I have. We know from a targeting standpoint, I will pay the money that allows me to get that problem solved. Now I need to connect those dots for them in front of them in our consultation to say, hey, you have a problem, you can afford it. This is why value exceeds cost. Let's get this thing rolling, right? And if I can't do that, I need to get better at that process. That's it.
And I was just thinking of like, you know how we write ads and like, say if a client's like, everybody in my gym is like a mom or a dad, right? Then we could literally just go like, hey, we're going to target only wealthy suburb like families and ultra wealthy, right? We already know that they're families. So the other thing to think about, guys, is like, hey, I want to target moms. So I know that's my audience. Like think of FemFit, Makayla, right? Then you can say upper suburban, wealthy suburban, and ultra wealthy. And now you're not hitting the other 50% that aren't moms and young and single and things like that. So by default, because anytime you launch an ad, everybody's going to see it in the general area, zip code, whatever. No, there's like, let's be honest. Yeah, you can put behavioral interests, like maybe they have kids and like maybe they've never. And the way Facebook reads that is like maybe they've visited Bye Bye Baby or like these big things on Facebook. So they're like, oh, they have young kids, right? They don't necessarily know that like you just somebody just gave birth like yesterday. Like they don't have that data, but they do it based on behaviors. Our software basically uses behavior, credit reports, all of that data and pinging phones to be like, this is the place this person enters. This is the place that they go. We know that they like these things. We know that they go to Whole Foods, Sprouts, or Lulu. Like I saw one the other day, like Lululemon was massively high. The other thing we could say is, okay, you need to partner up with Lululemon and do a lot of stuff with them because, or once Viore gets on there or anything like that. So it makes your ads way more targeted, not only on income based, but interest based, right? So like interest based and demographic, but all of these things that makes your ads so much better. So the thing is like, we can stop guessing and we can like, we write great copy. And I remember the ad, I won't say who, but said like very high income earners and that stuff. Well, now we could take that ad rather than reaching everybody and just like, this is the person.
Yeah, and what I love about the consumer insights part of the data is it just gives you an idea of how these people associate their identity with certain brands, right? So like if I'm looking at my target demographic and they're shopping at places that have an elevated or premium brand, the likelihood that they're going to walk into my gym if it's not a premium brand is pretty low depending on what their preference is. So like I'm not saying you guys need to like um, completely change your business model, but it's just insight to say, hey, if my ideal person is shopping or identifying brands a certain way that like closely resembles how they consume things, you are probably going to be more successful if you kind of parallel that kind of imagery, branding, storytelling, whatever it is, because they're already associating themselves with those types of things. So, like, it just gives you another layer of data to say, hey, the probability of someone driving a Mercedes, shopping at Whole Foods, walking into an industrial gym with no AC and like it looks like a crap show it's probably not that high. But not to say shame on you for running your business that way. It could just be like, hey, it's just a data point. Do with that information what you will.
Yeah. And I think that's just thinking back, right? Like a lot of our gym owners, previous to this, the emotional bandwidth that it comes with running paid marketing is really hard, right? Because we say like, if we get you 100 leads, you're probably going to sign up 10 to 20 max. That means 90 to 80 people wasted your time, right? And then if you're listening to this, go back and listen to last week's with Charlie, how he talks about be a robot, then be a human. Like that's great advice of like, if you're just dealing with that now, like be a robot, be emotionless until they respond, and then be a human, and then develop the one-on-one connection. Don't count on AI. But what I'm saying is now you don't have to have as much emotional bandwidth. Imagine like painting this picture. Imagine every lead that comes through your funnel, you're like, I already know they've been vetted income wise and interest based and behavior, that this is somebody that can afford to sign up. You as a gym owner or your CSM or your salesperson is going to be way more excited and try harder to get that person in the door, right? and they're going to like have better conversations. They're going to seek better questions just because mentally it would just be like for us at Lasso. If I knew every single gym owner was making, and if you're not making, I'm not saying that if you're not doing $30,000 and above, we can't help you, because we can, but like, somebody making 5,000 to 30,000 is a much different conversation, right? So if you're a gym owner, like doing, like we say 10 to 15,000, yes, we can definitely help you. And we can probably help you get there faster with the software. But if I knew every single gym owner was doing $30,000 to $100,000 that we talked to, those conversations would be much higher level, and it would be not about price, right? Whereas just like a gym owner somebody coming in that's like, hey, and this is not putting shade on anybody that's lower income, but somebody making $30,000, it's going to be a farther stretch for them. And Planet Fitness is probably a better solution for them at that time. Just like we're probably not a great solution for a gym making $5,000. Like you need to do your systems and focus on going to YouTube and just consuming free content. It's just kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off that, Blake, like two things, I want to emphasize, like, we are not trying to be insensitive towards low income people, but I'll tell you, if I was making 30 grand a year, rent and food are always going to come before my fitness. Like, that's just the laws of economics, right? So like, not to say we're not insensitive. We just know, like, most of our clients who are running $200 per month plus type of memberships, it is a stretch in terms of discretionary income for certain pockets of the population. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, that's just the business that you've set up. So just understand that there's going to be limitations to it. If you want to go serve those people in a different capacity, there are other models like a Planet Fitness or a Snap Fitness that are at a price point that allow you to serve those people, right? Probably a little bit better. The second thing is going back to kind of how you started the conversation, Blake, but I kind of want to emphasize it. So like, whenever I get on onboarding calls with brand new clients and we're talking about ROI, I always joke to say, like, return on investment's almost a moot point when it comes to paid ads, because it doesn't take a whole lot of ad spend or a whole lot of sales acumen to get a positive ROI. Where gym owners get burnt out on this is exactly what Blake's talking about, where it's like you're spending a lot of time talking to people that have never going to sign up for your gym for whatever reason. It's the emotional exhaustion is what weighs on you over time, where you're like, hey, cool. Like, I signed up 2 people this month, but it took so much follow up and work and all this stuff just to get those 2 people. Yeah. Part of me is like, hey, that's the cost of doing business. But kind of, again, how we started the conversation. But if we can help you guys just filter just a little bit better the amount of conversations that we're teeing up for you and the quality, just to make that emotional bandwidth a little bit less, like, we're all about it. Now, understand something, like to Blake's point, we're shrinking the amount of people that we're talking to. So naturally, cost per lead is going to go up. You're going to, at the same amount of monthly ad spend, you're going to have less leads. But what we care about is cost of client acquisition. So if it cost me, my gym right now, I'm sitting right around $315 to acquire a client. If my leads go down and my cost per lead goes up, but it costs me now $250 to acquire a client, I don't care, because I know that more and more of the conversations I'm having are productive and they're converting at a higher rate than they were before. So then I'm now it's kind of I'm in this cool place where I'm like, cool, am I hitting my KPIs in terms of growth? If I'm not, at least I have a more reliable process, and now I know I just need to spend more money. Cool. Now let's go back to hitting the KPIs I need to in order to be successful. But we're trying to shrink that emotional bandwidth that it takes in order to hit your business goals that you have long term. Because I get it. If I have 15 phone calls I got to make this morning and 14 of them are like, why are we even having this conversation? That takes a toll on you over time. Yeah. Now, if it's like, hey, I'm only having 3 conversations every day, but like most of them are actually really good, then I know it's like, okay, I'm comfortable with this. Like, it's fine. Like, I can manage this. It's just when you're chasing things that aren't productive, that's where this stuff starts to weigh in on you. And that's where I think this is going to be really productive.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, when I had my gym, and even with Lasso, like, to be transparent, we probably spent $9,000 on Facebook ads last month. There were weeks where we spent $2 to $3 grand, and I'm like, we literally haven't got one phone call. Like, I want to shut all this off, right? Or when I had a gym and everybody no-showed on me, and I'm like, screw this. Like, this isn't working. I want to turn all, you get emotional, and it's just human nature. And then and honestly, as we're spending more money as a marketing company, I feel it as a gym. I can relate a lot more, right? So I think one thing to think about, and I had this call with one of our Pinnacle clients. I just messaged and said, "Hey man, how things going?" He's like, "Leads have slowed down, but bookings are rolling in." And I was like, "Perfect." And because bookings should start increasing because you're getting better quality, but you're getting less leads. So like you said, if I have to sift through not as many conversations, but those conversations, it's much more encouraging. When a lead comes through, I'm going to be on it, right? Because I know that's going to be a great lead, and I'm going to be on that because I know I'm not going to get as many now. So I have to level up my sales game. And here's the other thing too. Somebody that's making $100,000 plus, they have a lot more options and they are a lot more educated. And so this is a rabbit hole we could go down, and I know we'll get spent kind of maybe the last few minutes on this. If you guys are running paid marketing, if you guys want to run paid marketing or running paid marketing and want to do something like this, you have to button up your organic and your website. Because here's the thing, I can run amazing ads and target these people, but if your website, the buttons don't look good, you want to target 45-year-olds, but you got 20-year-olds doing muscle ups, your everything, your Instagram doesn't even show these people, and it's very low quality of like just you like talking about muscle ups and how to do overhead squats, you are going to miss the mark. And here's why. It's very simple, actually, because these people are just trying to be sensitive in this. They are very highly educated, right? And they're not going to be the people that are always going to click on the ad. They're actually probably the less likely, because think of it, like if you're making $200,000 or more, you're going to be like, you understand the value of your money and time. I'm going to go to Tommy's website. I'm going to go to his Instagram and I'm going to vet him out. And if anywhere in that marketing process falls short, I'm done. I'm going to click off. So you have to make sure all of those align with the avatar. It's like I've done a few videos for people and I'm like, hey, it looks like you are 24 to 34, but when I look at the audience you really should be capturing, they're 44. But before you even jump down that rabbit hole, you need to change your organic marketing. Does that make sense?
No, of course it does. Yeah, and I mean, like this goes without saying, guys. Like it's not to say that all of a sudden this is going to solve all your problems. This is still cold traffic. They do not know, like, and trust your brand or anything like that. And if you think about like how to build trust quickly, whether that's in relationships and business with people, whatever, it's predictability and consistency. Like I trust Blake because 9 out of 10 times I know what I'm walking into every single day. And Blake is incredibly consistent in terms of how he talks to me, where we stand, all of that stuff. So to Blake's point, if we're putting out ads targeting a certain demographic and then they go to your other marketing channels and it's not the same thing, they don't trust you because it's not consistent. It's not predictable. They're like, well, I don't even know what I'm walking into. Is this a 45-year-old gym or is this like 26-year-old shirts off, we're getting after it kind of gym, right? So it all works together to build that trust and that like factor. It has to, because also to Blake's point, like the most seasoned consumer is going to go shop or look at multiple things before they commit to something, especially if it's at the price point we're selling at. So just know that don't just rely on us and you don't have the website and the organic and all that stuff kind of cleaned up, telling a similar story to what we're putting out there, because you're just going to confuse your marketplace and you're not going to build trust.
Yeah. So guys, I think one thing I want to give a huge value to anybody that listens to this podcast. If you guys send us a message, you can send it on, actually don't, like, we never check our Facebook message to the Lasso page, so don't send it there. But if you guys go on one of our like recent posts or send me an email, that's probably the best way. Send me an email at blake@lassoframework.com. And just send your gym name and your website. I will send you a free video about who is around you and look at your Instagram and like send you a 5-minute video. Not going to sell you. If you decide you want to get on a call like somebody did yesterday, great. Or if you're a person that's running paid marketing right now, either with another agency or you've ran it in the past and been like, you know what, like I know I need leads, but I don't want to do what I did last time of 100 leads and only signing up 5 people, and probably because somebody put free all over your ads. But now we can target higher income earners. Just reach out to us. Also, if you know of another gym owner, they're like, man, this would be super interesting, share our podcast to those people. Tommy, any last thoughts?
Nope. That pretty much wraps it up, you guys. We're excited for it. I'm implementing it in my own gym. I'm already starting to see the dividends being paid. Like, it's gonna allow you to have a more successful paid ad experience. And I always believe, if you're looking to grow your gym, this is going to be the necessity of the future for your business. Is we got to get good at this. We got to get comfortable with this. So if anything that we can do here at Lasso to make it a little bit easier for you, we're all about it.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.